Hello my friends, before we begin with this video I just want to talk about a clothing brand that a couple of my friends have come up with called Dank Apparel. Now as you can see I'm wearing one of their hoodies, and this particular hoodie is a personal favourite of mine, not just because of the awesome design. They've got the Dank Apparel logo just there, but more importantly it's all about the back. Yeah, as you can see, mental health awareness, fuck the stigma, and this awesome design with a brain on it. The reason I wanted to talk about this in this video is because these guys have made this design, and all of the profits are going to be going to the charity Mind, which is in the UK. So guys, if you really like the look of this hoodie and want to take a look at some of their other products, I'll put a link in the description below to their Etsy store and their Instagram page as well. Currently they only ship to the UK, however I have spoken to them and they said that if you direct message them on their Instagram page, they can arrange some sort of international shipping rates with you guys. So yeah, that's it basically. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Number 6 is to ask questions that are open-ended. Okay, so questions that begin with what, why, when, where, who, how. They make open-ended questions, okay? Because if you ask questions that start with are, does, if, they're closed questions and you'll get basically yes or no answers. And it's really hard to continue conversations when people just say, yep, no, yep, 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 no, yeah? And I'm sure you've been on the receiving end of that and you've said yes, no to people. And you can just tell they're struggling to talk to you because you're giving them nothing, okay? But when you say, you know, what films do you like, instead of do you like films, there's more to it than that, you know, and you find out more by asking open-ended questions, which leads me to point number 7. You're asking questions because you want to find out about people, okay? And people love talking about themselves, okay? I can have conversations with people and people don't learn anything about me because I'm just learning about them. People love to talk, and people think you're a really good conversationalist just by being a good listener. And obviously you find common ground, you know, you say, what kind of films do you like? Oh, I like Shawshank Redemption. Or you're like, oh, I love that film, I've seen it so many times. Don't you love the bit where this happens? You know, it's just... That's how you form friendships with people, you know, is finding that common ground. And you're only going to be able to do that by asking them about the things that interest them, okay? So you've got to ask questions, open-ended questions, because people love to talk about themselves, and that's how you find common ground. And people will be interested in you because you are showing an interest in them by asking them questions about themselves, okay? So number 8, eventually this should lead to people asking about you. This doesn't always happen because some people are so arrogant, they don't shut up about themselves. But the more you ask about them and you seem like a genuinely interested listener, eventually they will ask you questions about yourself, okay? As I say, this doesn't always happen, but when it does, by this time you would have found out quite a lot about them. And, you know, some time would have gone past, you feel a little bit more comfortable, so it should be easier to open up about yourself. So the best way to respond is with enthusiasm, not this monotonous, yeah, I like cars, I like this, I like that, I do this, I do that. It's not going to work, okay? And you don't want to be a motor mouth either and just be like, I like this, I like that, blah, 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 blah. And you don't want to be really so like, I'm really interested in insects. I love shopping. It's not going to work. You've got to keep that kind of up, down. The enthusiasm kind of goes up at the most crucial points and down when it doesn't need to be. You know, that does take some mastering. That takes quite a lot. But just you're going to have to practice that one, okay? But respond in detail. So if someone asks you, you know, like, what do you do for a living? I work in this for that company. I do this. I've been doing it a certain amount of time. I really enjoy it, or I hate it, I'm looking for another job, or I'm studying this because I find it really interesting, I've been into it for such a long time, I want to do that in the future as a career. You know, just try and emphasize on things, go into detail, just talk about it as much as possible, you know, but don't go on. If you can, you know, a little alarm will go off in your head. If you feel like you're going on too long, eventually you'll start to slow down and stop and give that person another chance to ask another question. If not, again, if the conversation goes quiet, you can just go in with another question. I like to, if someone's asked something about me and I tell them about it, and they don't respond with anything, like another question or their opinion on something, it's very easy just to go, you know, what do you think about that? Are you into that at all? Do you find that interesting? Have you ever done this? Have you ever done that? Yeah, it's just, you know, you kind of feed off each other back and forth. It takes a little bit of practice, but it's very, very doable, okay? So speak with appropriate enthusiasm and go into detail about yourself, okay? Number 9, pay people a compliment where possible, okay? Especially during that introduction. It's very easy for someone to become more receptive to you if you pay them a compliment, you know. So you're at that stage where you've just you're meeting someone for the first time, or you're meeting a friend or a family member, you know, you've met them before. It doesn't matter whether you've met them before or whether you're meeting them for the first time. Like, hey, how are you doing? Such and such. Oh, what's your name? I'm such and such. Oh, they're really nice shoes. Or, oh, I really like that top that you're wearing. Or, that fragrance is really nice. What is it? Or if it's a friend, family, someone that you know quite well, we're like, oh, I saw such and such on your Facebook page or your Instagram. That was really cool. I think you did a really good job there. Or even during conversation when you're getting to know them, or just talking about them, and they tell you something they've done, and you know, you can say, oh, that's really good. That's really cool. That must have been difficult. Like, well done for doing that. You know, people like that recognition, that compliment. It just really kind of puts them in a good mood with you. I mean, don't just completely flatter them like, oh yeah, that's really cool, and list off all the things that you really like constantly, because, you know, people will think you're trying to you know, get something out of them, you know. But yeah, pay people a compliment. They really do appreciate it, and they find it a lot easier to engage in conversation with you. And the 10th part, the final part, finish with, and this is obviously at the end of a conversation with someone, and again, this works with someone that you know well, someone you don't know at all, or someone you kind of know. Finish with a goodbye, a handshake, or a kiss on the cheek, or a hug. It's a lot easier to end with like a hug or a handshake or whatever, because during that time you should have got to know them a little bit. You feel more relaxed with each other, you know, you've kind of, the ice is broken, and you kind of feel maybe you're friends or colleagues, you know, and you're kind of on the same level now, so that's more appropriate. It was nice, really nice meeting you, or I had a really good conversation with you. Nice to, you know, that was really interesting. Thank you for teaching me about that. Or good to see you again, my friend. Or it was lovely to see you again. Nice to meet you, etc., etc. Okay, whatever's appropriate for you. Again, I just think that last few seconds, that goodbye, it is important. Just as important as meeting someone for the first time, because if the conversation didn't go off to a good start, you can sure as hell end it on a good finish. Anyway, that's my 10 tips. I really hope this helps you guys a lot, because I live by these principles. I find it really easy to talk to people, and I hope it makes a big difference for you. Anyway, guys, if you've got any tips for overcoming social anxiety, or things that you'd like to add, please leave comments below. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. All the best. Take care.